It is known by most at this point that Giannis Antetokounmpo wants out of Milwaukee if the Bucks aren't going to try to win the championship this season. And since the Bucks aren't doing much of anything right now except losing, the Giannis trade rumors are louder than ever. The Warriors are starting off great this season, but with many assets and a need for a legit second star, the trade can make sense for both sides. Make sure to like and subscribe, and enjoy the rest of the video. The Milwaukee Bucks traded for Damian Lillard last season, and the addition was going to be the next big thing, and the Bucks were supposed to be the best team in the league and win the championship last season. But that was the Boston Celtics' job. The Bucks season was filled with chaos and disappointment last year. The main reason for this was an unreliable Damian Lillard. One night he could score 23 and look like a pretty good second option. Another he could drop 40 and have his highlight buzzer beaters, his little classic shot. And then another game he could be outscored by Brook Lopez, who averaged 12 points last year. What I'm trying to say is Damian Lillard was very inconsistent. He also had his worst defensive season ever statistically, being in the bottom 13% of defenders. This season, Bucks fans and Damian Lillard fans were hoping he could get a turnaround, and we would all see that this duo just needed some time to mesh, sort of like the Rudy Gobert trade to the Timberwolves. But that doesn't seem to be happening. This season he is averaging 24 points, the same as last year, which doesn't sound too bad, but like I said, he is very inconsistent. Another reason that the Bucks were so bad last season and this season, and why Giannis would want to leave, is the coaching situation. The Bucks last year at the start of the season were doing very well until around the All-Star break, when Giannis and the other players lost faith in their current coach at the time, Adrian Griffin. So the Bucks fired him, which seems like a good move. You fire the coach if the players don't like him. But take a guess who they hired. Drum roll, please. Doc Rivers. One of the most well-acclaimed coaches by the people you will see on TV, but in reality, he has a 6-10 record in Game 7s, and the most 3-1 comebacks where he was on the losing end. With an inconsistent second option and a bad coach, Giannis sure doesn't think Milwaukee is the right place to win his second title. One more reason is age and injuries. With Dame at 34, Giannis at 30, Chris Middleton at 33, Brook Lopez at 36, Taurean Prince at 30, Pat Connaughton at 31, and Bobby Portis at 29 years old. This Bucks team is an old team. Their only sort of young player who gets minutes is AJ Green, he's 25, which isn't even that young. And you all know with age comes injuries. Chris Middleton's already missing games, hasn't even played this season, and more injuries are sure to come in Milwaukee. Giannis is just under all this pressure because how can an MVP candidate be on a team that is 6-9? The Bucks are saved because of how bad the East is, but with Giannis putting up a great performances on a bad team, and a team that I think is only going to get worse, Giannis will fully start to realize that he'll have to leave to win a second championship. Well, others might say, oh, the Bucks are 4-1 in their last 5 games. But in those games, they beat the Bulls, Rockets, Pistons, and Raptors. And then they also lost to the Hornets. All 5 of those teams are pretty trash. Those wins aren't really true wins. The only good wins the Bucks have this season is their win against Philly. And even then, Paul George and Embiid were out. And Philly's also a dumpster fire, but that's for another video. They also beat the Pacers, that's a pretty good win. Yeah. Every trade has 2 sides, unless it's a 3-team trade, but most trades have 2 teams involved. The other side of this Bucks trade should be the Warriors. The Warriors are the ideal team for this trade because they are good. Their record is the best in the West, but most analysts, including myself, don't see them winning the West, so the trade makes sense to make them better. This is also good for Giannis because he would want to go to a team that can be competitive. Another reason that the Warriors are the best is because of their toxic assets. Jonathan Kuminga especially. He has been having a very rough season. This is the year right before he gets his next contract, and Kuminga wants that bag, so he needs the numbers, and to get the numbers, he needs the minutes. And that's the issue, because Jonathan Kuminga would be starting on every other team in the NBA except the Warriors, due to his ability to not shoot. Lindy Waters III starts over him. You ever heard of him? Because I haven't before this season. And this is all because he can't shoot, like I said before. He can't play on the lineups with other non-shooters because then the lane is clogged. And Kuminga doesn't like this because he knows he can do so much more on another team, which is a reason that he would want to go to a different team, like the Bucks. Another interesting Warriors player is Andrew Wiggins. Last season, Wiggins was back from his family leave where all the details weren't really shared, but he had a family matter that seemed to really affect his play. But this season, he is playing more like the 2021 to 2022 season Andrew Wiggins. He was an all-star that year, but he isn't going to be one this year. He isn't that good. And the reason that almost every Warriors fan wants him to get rid of him is because he makes north of $30 million, and he isn't really a legit star. Giannis is. So, they should trade for him. The main reason the Warriors are primed for this trade, though, is the amount of good assets that the Warriors have. The Warriors play a 12-man deep lineup on most nights, so you can trade 5-year good rotation pieces, plus the 2 first-round picks the Warriors have for Giannis, which is a pretty good deal. And the Warriors would still have 8 players playing on any given night, which is around what most teams use. And 5 players who are proven, like 5 proven players, are better than 5 first-round picks, because the 5 proven players, they've proven themselves. There's no chance that your first-round pick could be a bust. And those first rounds, anyways, would be better than 5 firsts because the Warriors' first-round picks would be bad because the Warriors are really good this year. So the 5 proven players with the 2 picks are a sufficient pick for Giannis. All in all, the Warriors could acquire Giannis, and I think if they did, they would be the front runners for the championship this season. And Giannis definitely wants it too, so why doesn't this trade just happen already? And remember to like and subscribe, and also remember, a 2 is good, but the 3 ball is better.